The latest on Hurricane Irma, all times local, 11:58 m. Florida emergency management officials have asked another 700,000 to evacuate ahead of Hurricane Irma. That brings the total number asked to evacuate multiple states to nearly 7 million. Florida's Division of Emergency Management said Saturday that officials have issued a mix of mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders to 6.3 million residents. The number rose overnight as the predicted path of Hurricane Irma has shifted west. It's likely to come ashore Sunday. The size and trajectory of the storm has prompted officials to order evacuations along both coasts of Florida, including some of the state's population centers. Florida is the nation's third largest state with nearly 21 million residents. Another 540,000 have been asked to evacuate in the eastern part of Georgia. In South Carolina, a mandatory evacuation order was issued for 8 barrier islands. That includes Hilton Head Island, the most populous of the islands with about 40,000 residents. 11:25 Hurricane Irma has weakened to a Category 3 storm with 125 miles per hour winds, but it's expected to regain its strength before slamming into Florida. The storm has been pounding Cuba, and forecasters say it will get stronger once it moves away. Irma is expected to hit the Florida Keys Sunday morning and then Tampa. The National Hurricane Center warned in a Saturday advisory that the storm will bring life-threatening wind to much of the state regardless of its exact path. Forecasters also predict storm surges of up to 15 feet in southwestern Florida and rainfall up to 25 inches in the Keys. The hurricane warning for Florida's west coast has been extended to the Osceola River, just south of Tallahassee, and the watch pushed west to Indian Pass on Florida's Panhandle. The hurricane warning for Florida's east coast has been pushed further north to Fernandina Beach, with the hurricane watch further north to Edisto Beach. 11:15 a.m. U.S. Officials are working to secure some of the nation's most contaminated toxic waste sites as Hurricane Irma bears down on Florida. Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida says the EPA personnel he's spoken with seem generally positive about the prospects for toxic sites remaining secure in the coming hurricane. But, as he put it, they can't guarantee it 100%. Rubio spoke with AP from the Miami-Dade Emergency Operations Center. Florida has Superfund sites on both the east and west coasts. Rubio says EPA officials have been assessing the sites for 72 hours. He says they think the risks to the sites are real but not as severe as Houston faced from Harvey, because of the Texas oil industry. 11:00 m. Florida emergency management officials say at least 51,000 residents have hunkered down in approximately 300 shelters ahead of Hurricane Irma. Most of those staying in shelters are in southeast Florida, which initially looked to be the main target of the storm before the forecast shifted west. More than 15,000 people are in shelters in Palm Beach County while neighboring Broward County has nearly 13,000 people. The threat of Irma has prompted state and local officials to ask 5.6 million residents to flee ahead of the storm. It's expected to come ashore Sunday and take aim at the Tampa Bay area. Officials in the Florida Keys are evacuating some 460 inmates and 125 corrections officers from a jail on Stock Island to a jail in Palm Beach County. Spokeswoman Becky Herron said in a news release that Sheriff Rick Ramsey made the decision Friday night because of the changing path of Hurricane Irma. The jail on Stock Island is near Key West on the lower end on the island chain. 10:58 m. France has dispatched one of its most impressive military transport planes to assist recovery efforts near the hurricane-battered French overseas islands of Saint Martin and Saint Barth. In a statement Saturday, the French Army said the 4-engine airlifter A400M had taken off from the mainland city of Orleans to the Caribbean with a Puma helicopter, a dozen military and technical personnel and humanitarian cargo. The fast-approaching Hurricane Jose, which is going to pass just above St. Martin, has meant that all access to and from St. Martin and St. Barth has been halted. The A400M is expected to arrive at Fort-de-France, the capital of France's Caribbean Overseas Department of Martinique, and will remain in the region at least a week to help with hurricane relief work. 10:48. Florida Governor Rick Scott is heeding his own advice about Hurricane Irma by evacuating his beachside mansion along the Gulf Coast. The governor's office confirmed that Scott's family, including First Lady Ann Scott, left Naples in southwestern Florida ahead of the dangerous storm. Scott's daughter, her husband and their grandchildren have also evacuated. Scott's mansion is worth approximately $15 million, according to his latest financial disclosure. As governor, Scott usually splits his time between his mansion